So, the Auto Rifleman, the first role that is different when it comes to weaponry. And it is only the weaponry that is different for this class. Everything else about them is the same. There's nothing special about them. Now, if you were to pick an Auto Rifleman and not play your role, and by that I mean not pick an LMG or an MMG, nothing would happen because no one would really notice. Then someone might go, oh, why have you not done that? You know, I wanted to play that role. That's probably the most I can imagine. So if you really wanted to pick one of these and just be a rifleman, no one's going to complain. Perfectly honest, that's fine. You know, no one's going to moan if you actually take just an AKM or whatever as an auto rifleman, because no one's really going to notice. I've never had anyone turn around and go, is there an auto rifleman anywhere nearby? It's just not a thing that's ever brought up. So yeah, you can do that if you want. So you don't ever have to play your role. But if you're going to play your role, you have some toys to play with. Basically, there are 5 or 6 LMGs and 2 MMGs. And they're all slightly different. So, the Car 95-1 is basically like a squad assault weapon. It has, let's see, 100 round mag, and that's basically it. It's all right. It's not heavy. You can carry a fair whack of ammunition for it just in your chest pack. So I've got 600 rounds there. Lovely. Not really anything else about it that's exciting, if I'm perfectly honest. Looks nice. Comes with a bipod by default, but it's 5.8. I don't know why you'd ever choose a 5.8 over anything else. So yeah, great, but meh. Then you've got this, the I&A3. I think it looks lovely. And it does actually have a bipod. That's a bipod there. It folds down when you lie down on the ground. But it's 5.56 again. I probably would never pick 5.56 over 6.5. The belts for this are 200 rounds. But again, I'm carrying 600 rounds now. So I'm taking up the same amount of space, weight, whatever you want to call it. So I've got exactly the same amount of ammunition as I had on the 5.8. I love the gun, but I just don't ever use it because I'd rather have a 6.5 if I'm perfectly honest. That's really the reason. We have the Mark 200. Sort of a more funky variation of it. I prefer the other one. I think it looks nicer, but this is 6.5. And again, the ammunition, because it's 6.5, takes up a heck of a lot of space. I've got 400 rounds rather than 600 rounds. Again, I can take a backpack, sure. I'm not saying you shouldn't as well. By the way, take a backpack if you want to. But these things weigh a lot with all the ammunition. So once you start, popping a backpack on and going, right, in the backpack, I'm going to take many rounds as I can. I'm carrying a lot of stuff here. I mean, I could take that off, carry a heavier backpack, maybe chuck one of these in there. Does it fit? No, it doesn't. You got options. I don't really like this weapon because of the weight of the ammunition and the weight of the weapon itself. It's nice though. I mean, they're all cool. I personally usually go for the MXSW, which is boring. I know. I mean, it looks nice, but this thing, I can carry. I've got 500 rounds just in my chest. There I can actually carry ammunition for this in my uniform. I can carry ridiculous amounts of ammunition for this in my backpack. So between my vest and my backpack and my uniform, I've got 12 magazines. I've got 1,200 rounds. I'm still more maneuverable than that, and I can still dump the handgun, etc. I love this gun. It's brilliant. It's got good range on it. It can do good suppression, decent penetration. So that's my favourite, personally, there. Then there's the, I'm not going to go into the MMGs just yet. These are all the light machine guns. There is the SPAR 16S, which again is a squad assault weapon. I think that's 150 round. Yeah, so I mean, I've got 600 rounds there. The backpack, I'm going to be able to carry a ton in the backpack. So yeah, I mean, you can carry a lot of ammunition, but again, it's 5.56, so you takes what you gets. I personally prefer the 6.5. And then there's only one other LMG, which is the Zephyr. The ammunition, the gun itself weighs a ton. If you look at the SPAR 16, look at the weight of that. Look at the MXSW. You know, the weight's a hell of a lot less. Then you look at the, look at the weight. Boom. That thing weighs a lot. That weighs a lot as well for what it is. Way too much. That's another downside to that. And that's probably one of the lightest. Anyway, Zephyr weighs a ton. But it's 7.62. It has got a lovely, lovely punch to it. But again, I can carry 2 in my vest. I wish I could wear a different vest. Might be able to carry a bit more. So I've got 5. So it's at 600, 750 rounds. But god damn, that weighs a ton. Yeah, I don't think I could move one of those to that now. It's a trade-off. You're going to get tired quickly, and when you're tired with one of these, if you can't find somewhere to rest, you're not going to be very accurate. But it is a beast. It is a cool gun. I would pick that second myself over the MXSW, and you know, they're my 2 LMGs of choice. But yeah, you've got all these toys to play with, and they are great. Not pick one is doing yourself a disservice, in my opinion. So, you know, as I say, you could be a rifleman. You're best off not. Then you have the MMGs, of which we have this, which weighs, as you can see, a fair bit. But notice it's not that much more than the Zephyr. Its ammunition also doesn't weigh a great deal more than the Zephyr. However, it's only 130 rounds in a belt. So again, I can carry 2. I could probably pick a different backpack and I could carry 3. As you can see, there is a weight difference to the Zephyr. I think the Zephyr was about here. But this thing is a beast. You know, it's an absolute beast. It can only go full auto. I mean, you can do single shots with it, but yeah, I'm not going to fire in base because that's asking for trouble, even though there's no one on the server. Yeah, this thing can do absolutely devastating damage. But the thing is, you're not going to be able to do that long a range, even with a scope on, because you know it doesn't do that well. And the kick from it will mean it'll start flipping upwards. You need to be in a good position with a bipod down, really, to be using it. However, if you've got a person with you who can spot people for you and tell you whether you're on target, etc., it can be beastly. And yeah, the other one is the Navid, which is there. Difference in weight, again, it's heavier. This probably is the most powerful, I think, out of them. We can have, yeah, it is, yeah. And I do love it. I think it's cool. I'm not sure about the colour scheme. It's a bit boring, but it is CSAT, so I think I prefer the SPMG's colours. But yeah, it's lovely. Its ammunition is 150 rounds. But I mean, I can only carry 1 in my... I could get rid of those. And whatever else in it. Yeah, first aid kit, grenade maybe. Yeah, chem light. There you go. Maybe I can carry 2 now. Just. And in the backpack, I'll be able to carry 2. And oh my god, just with 2. I mean, I've got a pistol, so that's going to weigh me down. Then pop that down. But that's not. Oh, it has helped. That dropping that pistol helped. But my god, if that thing doesn't exhaust me quickly. And I've only got for, what's that? 1. Oh, I've got 500 rounds. It's not bad. That's no 500. Sorry, 750. That's alright. 750 rounds is a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's going to take you through most AOs depending on what you're doing. But yeah, it starts almost half. Yeah, that's my sprinting done. But it is a beast. So if you want to do this, you might be good if you can find someone else to carry some ammo for you and try and go a bit more mobile. Or go, I know I'm not going to be mobile. I have to get into position and that's my job. If you're going house to house with this thing as well, and this is me just like imagining I'm going right into a building. It's sort of a bit all over the place and the kick is ridiculous. Yeah, it's not great in that sense. You get exhausted very quickly using it. You have a bit of trouble in that kind of scenario. But it's up to you. If you want to go MMG, either of the two are nice. If you want to go LMG, Zephyr or Navid, in my opinion. But yeah, no one's going to be crying if you don't pick an auto rifle of some description. But they are there, so you may as well do. Again, it can dual roll. But things you're carrying in your hands and the rounds you want, no point. Don't bother dual rolling with this. The Grenadier is the next class with options. Obviously, these guys can use grenade launchers. And there are a plethora of them that can be used. So don't expect to use any rifle you've not used before. Just expect to use those rifles with a grenade launcher slung underneath. Anything special about this role you need to take into account? Well, no, they can carry grenades and grenade launchers. So if you're going to be one, you may as well take them. But again, no one at all will complain if you do not want to take grenades or a grenade launcher and you just wanted an MX or whatever weapon. You won't get moaned at. A lot of people consider this a rifleman with a bonus. So no one's going to moan at you if you don't play your role as Grenadier, because no one asks for a Grenadier's support specifically. That said, you've got the access to a grenade launcher. May as well take it. May as well use it. Now, there are a bunch of them that are available. You can take an AK with a grenade launcher, which is a nice option because it's a punchy weapon with a cool grenade launcher. You can take the Kar 95 GL 5.8. Not sure why you'd bother with 5.8 if you can take 7.62 or 6.5. Katiba grenade launcher. You're not really ever going to run out of ammo if you can find somebody else with a dead enemy with grenades on them. Mark 20. Again, it's 5.56. Not sure why you'd bother, but you can. The MX3 GL. Quite simply the best grenade launcher in the game. I will tell you why in a moment. There is the Spar 16 grenade launcher, which looks badass, but still it's not quite as good, I believe, as the MX 3GL. And there's the TRG with a grenade launcher as well, which also looks badass, but still isn't as good as the others. So why not? Well, because we have the option of why is it not giving me the option of grenades here? Or does it come under those? Yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. I have picked the grenade. No, I haven't. You prat. Oh, well, that pole literally was blocking the view that I had the grenade launcher version. Yeah, okay, right. That would make sense. Now, I can choose grenades. So these are all the different types of grenades you can slap into it. And this is the point. It is the type of grenades you can put into it. All of the grenades, grenade launchers, take these. 40mm HE grenade. I do believe the Katiba is exactly the same. Yeah, 40mm high explosive grenades. And they can all take these flare rounds, which are actually can be useful at night, but meh. And these smoke grenades, which I'd rather just take handheld smoke grenades rather than wasting my time. Very rare you need to do them at distance. There's probably times, but not very often. So they can all take this. And this allows me to go and shoot a grenade. You basically go thunk. There we go, that's grenade launcher selected. I always use this to target with. And then you can page up, page down, or whatever your key is for it. and change your what's names. That's 50 meters, and that's 400 meters, which is the most this particular launcher can do. You can go probably a little bit beyond it by going a bit higher, but don't expect much more than that. And then, as I say, thunk, off goes the grenade, and when you've done that, you'll reload. Same for all the grenade launchers. I think they may have slightly different ranges, a couple of them, but that's pretty much the gist. So they're all very much the same. Again, I need to remember mine. I did pick one with the. There we go. Sorry, I didn't know it. So there you go. Slightly different reticule. This one goes, yeah, still the way up to 400. There you go. They're all the same. No difference. Except the MX GL can take these. 3-round HE grenade, 3-round flares, 3-round smokes. Each of these, of which I've taken 6, contains 3 grenades. So when you hit reload, boom, in it goes. I can actually go 1, 2, 3, or 1 or 1, 2 or whatever, and pop out those grenades rapid fire. So I don't have to go fire, reload, fire, reload, fire, reload. I can go fire, 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 then reload. Or I can go fire, then run around with 2 in my thing, and then go, oh, there's something, bang, bang, 2 more out, then reload. Or I can reload if I just want to reload. But yeah, you don't have to reload. You can fire 3 grenades in a row. That means also for every grenade that you're carrying, and yes, they are heavier, I'm not going to deny that, but for every grenade that I'm carrying, I'm actually carrying 3. So I'm actually carrying 15 grenades there, plus that one, so 18 grenades, rather than whatever the amount is. And I can fire those in volleys of 3, or 2, or 1. So why would you go for any other thing? And like I say, it doesn't change. They've got the same range as all the other ones. It's all the same in that sense. So there's absolutely no reason to pick any other gun unless it's aesthetics, because this is better than all of them. Now, they can also dual roll, and it's actually viable to dual roll with this class. Now you notice I don't have a backpack. I'm carrying probably more grenades and stuff than I need to for this. I've got 2 RGO grenades, a smoke grenade, and I've got, I'm not sure actually why. Let me just, sorry, wrong button. So there wasn't one in the pipe, so to speak, so I'd need to make sure I go back and take that extra one. So I've got 18 grenades on me, which is doable. So I just went to my vest and went, I just want to take 1 more of those fellas. There we go. Boom. Can't take any more. And then went, well, actually, I want a dual roll. So I'm going to take an RPG. I'm going to make sure it's loaded. And then I'm going to take a backpack. And I'm going to take that. And I'm going to take, for some reason, it's not switched to the rifle, the thing that I'm on, which is a little bit strange. Let me just there they are. Sorry, I did take 4 of those. Just make sure I've reloaded. Pop that away. And I can pop another one in my backpack if I so desire. And my manoeuvrability level is still pretty damn good. I could possibly chuck another grenade in there if I wanted to. So yeah, I mean, This is a Grenadier who can also do light anti-tank. You're quite the demolitions guy here in that sense. So yeah, it's a nice class in that way. It's a good role to play, and you can have a lot of fun with a grenade launcher. Do be careful, because if you're not very good with them, you will probably cause a lot of team kills. But it's a very, very good role to do dual rolling with as well. So not expected to play it. If you never took a grenade launcher, no one's going to complain if you didn't. But if you're going to take one, in my opinion, take the MX3GL. And not a bad call to actually either take a crap ton of grenades or dual roll. Take a rocket launcher with you. So here we are with the Marksman, and this role is the daddy of roles. Popularity wise, probably only just after, in my opinion, Sniper, because it's the next best thing, and people who don't want to pilot would probably say this is their second chosen role as well. Most people will always try and be a sniper because everyone wants to be a sniper because they is cool and neat. But yeah, so the Marksman's the next one. There's nothing special about a Marksman apart from the weapons he can use and the scopes he can put on it, but that is often enough. These guys can pop people from considerable distance and have the right weaponry to do so. Unlike the sniper, sniper can use all the same weapons. These guys can. They can also use a different scope, but these have guns that go sometimes full auto, or at least they fire a hell of a lot faster and more semi-auto than the big sniper rifles. So they can dual roll, and there's no harm not to do that. It can be quite good. I'll give an example of a character I have with a SPAR 17. This character has got a ton of ammunition on him, some grenades, loads of that. So if I wanted to dual roll, not a problem. Taking an RPG, a backpack, and let's say just take an RPG 7, and we'll take a backpack, and in that we're going to bang. I want to do many of those that we can carry. Reload. Might be able to take one more and still be mobile. Yeah, it seems fine. There we go. Might get tired quickly, but yep. So these can dual roll depending on the gun you take as well, quite easily. So that makes them pretty damn awesome. The other thing that makes them cool is that they not only get good guns, but they get different scopes. So these guys can use all of the marksman weapons. The CMR 76 6.5 is a marksman weapon. Let me demonstrate it there. Kind of cool. 6.5. There are so many 7.62 choices. There is never a reason to pick a 6.5 choice. Personal opinion. There is the Cyrus. We'll go into that in a minute. Mark 10. We'll go into that in a minute. There's the Mark 10 EMR, which looks lovely. It's a nice gun. If you want a 7.62, it's very viable. I think it weighs a bit more than some of the others, but everything about it's nice. I love the gun. It's got a really beautiful woodland camo thing, which is a shame that they don't have a woodland camo uniform at all in this game. Then we've got the Mark 14, weighs a bit less, a bit old school. Still love it. 7.62, same as the EMR, same as the original one that I had, which was the SPAR. Again, no reason not to take this gun. EMR is a bit more accurate, but weighs a bit more. But yeah, it's a lovely gun. Another great gun, vanilla. So if you haven't got the Marksman pack, then yeah, nothing wrong with this gun at all. I just don't like its colour scheme. It just doesn't feel it matches my character at all. That would be my complaint. If it was black, I'd probably like it more. But that's it. I mean, there's no real downside to this gun. It's a lovely gun. MXM looks nice. 6.5 though. Everything else is 7.62. Don't see the point in using it, personally. But it is a nice rifle. Rahim, there's no reason to choose this gun ever. The only time I personally think you'd ever use it, if I have done, is when I've picked it up off a dead body. And then I found it invaluable to me for the ammunition that was in it that I stole to put in my other gun. And at one point it just was handy. But it carries 10 rounds. It's garbage and looks horrible as well. It looks better with all the gear on it, but meh. Spar 17, brilliant, love it. Looks awesome. Just cool. Just think it's a great rifle. It's my favourite. But I do like the others. 7.62, you got the opportunity. All the 7.62s have 20 round mags, apart from the Rahim, which has 10. So yeah, they're your options really. For, I would say, well, there's basically 6.5. There is 5. No, there's no 5. Yeah, 6.5, and there is 7.62. And then there are two I would call sort of light sniper rifles, which is the Mar-10, which I don't really like the look of. It's a bit weird looking, but the camo version kind of matches my uniform, so I tend to pick it. But I found that every time I pick this gun, I'm just not very good with it. This has, I believe, 10 rounds rather than, 10 round in a mag rather than 20. So all the 7.62 have more ammo capacity. The ammo weighs less. You can carry more of it. And this thing doesn't always kill in one shot, which is weird. It probably should, but it doesn't. Will have some impact against vehicles, light vehicles that is. Probably put enough rounds into one, then you'll eventually disable maybe the engine or something. And it could take out wheels. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of it. Weighs a fair whack as well. That said, the Cyrus weighs more. Quite a, not that much more, a titty bit more. Looks a bit weird, but I love this gun. It's so awesome. I hate the look of it. It's just so generically boring. But it's a beast, and I seem to be able to, don't know why, I just kill more often with this, and I get more single shot kills with this. It just feels nicer to me for some weird reason over the Mar-10, which has more accuracy and more range. I just can't do anything with that Mar-10. I just feel rubbish whenever I have it. So this is the gun I would choose. So if you're planning to be a bit more mobile, or you want a dual roll, go for a 7.62 and try to pick a slightly lighter one. If you're not bothered about the dual roll, go for these and maybe take a backpack with some ammunition in it. The Mar-10, whichever's your preference personally, really, at the end of the day. You're not going to find this ammunition in the field very often. So this you may. Mainly if you've got other marksmen around, you can take their ammunition if they die. Or if you kill a marksman with a Rahim, you can actually, if you've got the mag repack mod, take their ammunition, put it into your magazines as long as you've got one left. So I mean that's the benefit of a marksman, sitting on a hill popping people from a distance. Are you expected to play your role as a marksman? No, not at all. Not even remotely. You're a rifleman, but you can be a marksman. No one's ever going to turn around if you're playing a marksman and you want to go into the thick of combat, because you don't want to sit on a hill popping people from 600 meters away or 800 meters away. That's fine. There's no stigma behind not playing a marksman as a sniper. You don't have to. And to be fair, their rifles, being 7.62, are great up close and at distance. And the majority of them, if they're not fully auto, they're semi-auto. So, they're fine. They're absolutely fine. The other benefit about these guys is their scopes. They have about 5 more scopes available to them. I will very quickly go through them in my opinion of best to worst. I like the AMS, doesn't matter what rifle it's attached to at the moment. I think the actual scope on it is lovely. I like that. It's got 2 zoom levels. And it has a backup red dot sight with lots of visibility about it. So the actual sight itself doesn't obscure. So if I wanted to shoot someone over there or over there, it's not obscuring like if someone was to run out from the side. I love this one. My favourite. Hands down. I think it's great. Then we have the... Is it the... No, DMS. Again, I like this scope. I'm not grand with it. I'm not great. But it's alright. Again, 2 zoom levels. Use the chevrons are your distance. And the numbers at the bottom for anyone who's not using SVD and say Arma 2 or anything. Basically, you line up the size of the target with that and it tells you the distance. So if they're the size are, if they fit in the size of the bottom to the number 2, then they are 200 meters, 400 meters. So those teeny tiny ones in the distance that just squeeze between that bottom line and the 8 are 800 meters away, and so on. Yeah. So that's the gist of that. And it's got a lovely backup red dot as well, or hollow sight. Not as nice as the AMS, but it's fine. I like it. I like that rifle, that scope on the rifle. Then we have the Carlia. Again, scope itself, fine. 2 levels of zoom. No real problems with that. Sort of use the things as mil dots. So it's quite easy to figure that out. I'm not going into mil dots right now. But the backup sight is awful. Because it obscures too much of a view. So if you imagine that, I know there's a guy around that corner and there's a guy here and I'm like shooting at him. If somebody was to come around that corner that was backing him up and I'm busy going pat, 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 shooting away, I can't see him. That scope actually blocks my view. So that makes it pretty damn crap in my opinion. So I don't like it for that reason. Then we have the MOS, and that one you don't need Apex for. Sorry, Marksman, all the rest I believe you do. Yeah, you've got to have the Marksman thing, otherwise you're stuck with the basics. So this one you don't. And again, it's a lovely scope, no problems with it. Well, I'm not a big fan of the actual markings on it and stuff, but it's fine. Does the trick. But it's backup scope again. Oh, good lord, it's horrid. It's not as bad as, again, if I was taking shots there, there's a chance I might see someone coming around that corner. So it's not as bad as the Carlia, but I'd say I prefer the Carlia's actual normal scope. So yeah, you can dual roll this, no problems, especially with 7.62. You have the benefit of being able to sit on a hill popping people, and then if you want to occasionally, or if you had a PCML for example, you can also pop that out and have a go at them. Remember that these are a lot less range on them though. Yeah, Marksman, everyone loves them because it's a sniper basically, but without being a sniper, and there's only 2 sniper slots on the whole server. Personally, I prefer Marksman over a sniper anyway, because the snipers' rifles are just a bit limited in my opinion. But yeah, great, love Marksman. So would suggest definitely having a go with anyone if you can, but chances are the slots are going to be full depending what night you go on. So last but not least, we have the anti-tank guy, and as you can see straight away, I've got myself a Titan launcher. That is the only thing that is unique to this class over every other class in, or role should I say, I keep using the word class, in Invade Annex. Well, on Ahoyworld servers anyway. Their weaponry is exactly the same as everyone else, excluding the Marksman Grenadier. So they've got the same stat, same everything basically as a basic rifleman, as a squad lead. And they can dual roll because they do by default. That is the only thing about them that is unique and special. Now you will see that they have an MXC, which is a carbine given to them by default. It's not necessarily a bad call. And I've got a backpack here that's got two Titan AT missiles in it. And it's a strange one because there is a lighter backpack you can choose that also takes two of them. So the fact they give you that one by default, always try to switch out of that one. Because if you're only going to carry two, which is the average you will carry, then you don't need this backpack. Just to demonstrate that out, we have the backpack we've got on currently is the kit bag green, but the field pack carry a bit less load, of course, and weight is considerably less than the kit bag, but I've still got two missiles in it, and the AT missiles weigh more than the AA missiles do. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to carry a standard load, that's probably the right way to go about it. My builds are, I've got one guy with just, and it sounds really weird, he just has a pistol. It's about him being more maneuverable and running around. This is a long range sniper. If I'm anywhere near combat, this is a stupid idea. So that is literally a backup holdout weapon, and that is all. Otherwise, I have a guy with an MXC and a guy with an MX. MX is way more, and once you start adding all the attachments on it, and that's the benefit really of having an MX, it's not always great. So I tend to pick this guy. I will sometimes, if I've got a vehicle at my disposal, bang a more long range weapon like an MX or a 7.62 AK with scopes and stuff in the vehicle, and then might switch between them if I'm going long range, which I often do. But this is my basic loadout, and I have one rocket in the pipe and two in the backpack. I've got an MX. I've got a crap ton of magazines for it. You can reduce some of this stuff down. I've probably got too many grenades on me. Free up a bit of space to make you a bit more manoeuvrable. And you might even go, if I can get rid of some RGO grenades and RGN grenades and maybe a couple of those, I might take an MX with a bipod, which is not a bad call. But I mean, this does me proud, does me absolutely fine, no real issues. I do miss the bipod occasionally, and the range is a bit naff on the MXC. But now the thing about this is I'm carrying 3 rounds for that Titan, and if you're shooting at anything that can do countermeasures, you're going to miss the first shot. So that's worth taking into account, that really you pretty much only ever have 2 shots on something that has countermeasures. Usually only takes 1 shot probably to destroy it within a Titan, but yeah, it's worth thinking about. So you might want to sacrifice some ammunition, etc., etc., for carrying a Viper harness and 3, I think it's a light Viper, I don't know which Viper harness, and 3 rockets. But you're not going to be able to carry a lot else with that, because the rockets weigh so much. Now, playing a role. If you are a anti-tank soldier and don't take a Titan, then you are an idiot. Because that's the only reason to play the anti-tank role. Because any role can take these. So to go, well, I just want to be carrying a few more rockets and be up close and personal. Well, if there's another role available, take that one then. I mean, if there's another role available that isn't, say, a medic, because you probably want to do the medic thing and fill up your backpack with medical gear. But take a Grenadier, take a squad leader, take a repair specialist. Any of those can carry these. No one's going to bat an eyelid about you having those. And, you know, you can carry as many as this guy can carry. You can't carry more just because you're an anti-tank guy. The only reason that these are better is they can take that. They can take the MPRL compact. And for invade and annex on Ahoyworld, I'll tell you right now, don't take this. If it's the hexagonal looking one, which is the MPRL, not the compact, it's anti-air. And though you can carry more anti-air, I think you can carry more anti-air rockets, you will very rarely, if ever need anti-air rockets. Even if there's a enemy jet flying over the AO, they will chaff and you will miss. The chances of hitting are slim. Not impossible, but slim. And if it's a helicopter, they can also chaff. And you've got, as these are wire guided, you've got as much chance of hitting with one of these in some senses. You won't lock, but you could guide it onto them. Also, unless you've got a vehicle, there is no reason to take AP missiles, because the purpose of it is to take out armor. If you're taking out AP anti-personnel, you're taking out groups of troops, you must be on a low populated server, because otherwise you're just going to piss off all the ground troops that are actually getting in there and wanting to fight these guys by nuking them from a distance. Same as basically being a tank stood on a hill killing everything. So don't take those. Unless, if you have access to a vehicle that you're taking and you're loading it with missiles, take a few of them and ask if somebody needs AT support, or if it's a quiet server, or maybe you're doing a side mission on your own. All of these are reasons you can do that, but you're going to want to take more of these anytime you can. A vehicle is a good option. A Prowler is brilliant. A Hunter's okay, but and try not to take a tank just so you can take AT missiles or something, because that's a waste of resources. But yeah, I mean, by all means, take as many as you can. That's the only reason to take this class though. The beauty about this, as opposed to any other launcher, is that you can zoom in, which you can, I think, on the whatever the N-Law one's called, can't remember. Yeah, you can also go into thermal, 2 different types, so white hot, black hot, or whatever it's called. So yeah, they can lock. So what that thing there, if that was to lock onto somebody, and if there's a vehicle, it'll shrink down. I don't know whatever happened to the little, like, as you lock on them, beep, but that seems to have gone. But yeah, you can do the same here, and you'll lock on, and when you press fire, off it goes. As soon as you press fire, once it's locked on, you can poodle off and do whatever you want. Great. Doesn't always work because of things in the way, or the fact, I think it's a thermal signature it locks onto, so if the vehicle's not moved in ages, it will have no thermal signature, so you won't be able to lock on. But I would say if you lock on by default, depending on your distance away from the enemy, fire, drop to your knees, just stay there for a second, because if you're stood there, they will return fire if they're within range and cane the area in. That said, if you're going to have to wire guide this in, which is you fire and you target where you want. So for example, if I wanted to hit that rock over there, I would fire now and hold on until it hopefully hit the rock. Obviously, depending how heavy your breathing is, that will happen more. The more you zoom in, the more crazy the actual jittering about is. I've also found for some reason that pressing space had a tendency to reload a missile. I have no idea why, but because space for me is hold breath. But yeah, you can hold your breath and try and guide it in like that, and you can move it around a little bit, so if it was traveling, you can try and get the vehicle to hit that way. But be careful, because if you fire like that, imagine I went, oh, I'm going to hit that, and then, oh, it's flown off. It doesn't matter, put that away. There's every chance that a rocket's coming back and hitting you. And it has happened to me, and I found it absolutely hilarious. But I think it's because the last thing you do is point your rocket launcher at the ground. So it's going, oh, guidance distant, boom, and it comes straight back at you. You can weirdly do trick shots where you can fire up and fire behind you and hit something, but it's really hard, and I think I've done that once ever. Overriding it doesn't work. You'll just hit yourself. So yeah, that's the only reason to pick this class is for that, but it is brilliant. It is truly, truly amazing, and is the best way to take out heavy armoured vehicles. Tanks, it's the only thing that's going to take a tank out. I think a tank takes something like, I don't even know how many of the PCML, sorry. Takes loads of them. Same as that. That is a bit more powerful, and ridiculous amount of those. But as you can see, the impact and range of these is amazing, and you can sit 1,500 meters away and quite happily use that. So that's the reason to use these guys, and you're best off if you can sort of get somebody supporting you, carrying you a few rockets in their backpack. Maybe if you can squad up, get everyone to do it. If you don't play your role as an anti-tank, people might get annoyed at you because they'll want to be playing that role as anti-tank. And to be fair, if you're an anti-tank guy and they see you've got no launcher and you've just reached the AO from the base, they'll be like, what the hell? We've got tanks down there. We need you to get rid of them. Why are you not playing your role? But yeah, there's not many roles that you're going to get absolutely bitched at out of the standard ones for not specifically playing your role. I would say medic, mainly. Repair specialist, a little bit. And beyond that, you can kind of do what you want. There are other roles that, again, people will moan about you not playing. If you didn't take a sniper rifle, at least a marksman rifle, and played the sniper, I think you would probably get slated if you just ran around as a rifleman. But the chances are, if you're taking the sniper position, it's for that reason. If you were a Vortex pilot and you ran around as an infantryman, you will get into a lot of trouble. Don't do that. That is the role you have to play. But I'll go into that in a different video anyway. So yeah, most of them are the same. There's a few extra benefits to a few of them, and that's what the roles are in this. So when you jump in and you see all of those roles, don't be too worried or too confused. They're not that difficult, and have a go at them, but don't worry if you don't play them exactly as people expect. And that's it really. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful. I will do a second part if people are interested that covers some of the other squads and their roles. Like I say, I'm trying not to go into detail about the actual mechanics, just enough detail to help you understand how to pick one and what's expected of you and the things, that weaponry that's available to you in that position. As always, thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next video, and until then, Gamerbug out.